What's going on, traders? A few things to talk about. We're just going to get straight into it. Like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. So, absolutely crushing it in the Discord. We're 3-0 for the day, 5-0 for the week. We jumped into IWM 235 strike puts. We jumped in at 2.90, ended up taking profit at around 3.96. We also jumped into Nvidia 170 strike puts at 3.75, ended up taking profit at around 4.80, and then we jumped into MSTR 280 strike puts at 5.45, and we ended up taking profit at around 6.95. So congratulations to Discord members on that. Discord link will be in the description below. And so let's talk about what happened today, because in our last video I let you guys know that there were a few things that was bothering me when it comes to the overall market and how I was expecting more downside between today and tomorrow. And one of those things was Bitcoin. So when we're looking at Bitcoin's daily time frame, the main issue here was this trend line right here. So as you guys can see, we have this blue trend line here where you have a bounce here, another bounce here. And so if we zoom in, yesterday we ended up pumping towards the upside. We hit 113K, but not only did we hit 113K, we hit the 21 MA, we hit the 100 MA, and we hit this trend line, and we ended up rejecting back towards the downside, creating a lower high. So we have a high here, lower high here, another lower high here, lower low here, lower low here. And so if we continue towards the downside, which I'm kind of leaning towards, I do think that we're going to head towards 104K from this point on. If we manage to break below 103K, that's a very bad sign, because at that point we're outside of this rising wedge, and that leads me to believe that we're going to head towards 97K. Now, as you guys know, I've been saying this in multiple videos, I'm not bearish on crypto until we break below 97K. As long as we are above 97K, I still believe we're going to see all-time highs by the end of the year. I believe Bitcoin is going to see 150K, maybe even 200K. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, as long as Bitcoin stays above 97K, I would say that it's safe to be bullish. But if we manage to break below that, pack your bags, start getting ready to sell the house. All right. So from that point on, if we do break below 97K, I'm looking at a move towards 92K, and then from there, possibly 88K, but we're not there yet. All right. So for now, what we want to see, if we're looking to be bullish, is let's actually go to the daily time frame. Right. So if we're looking to be bullish, we want to see a double bottom form here, right? And what I mean by that is because our neckline is at around 113K, right? But then you will have a bottom here. And so if, let's say we just continue towards the downside, let's say we continue towards 104K, right? If we can wick off of the bottom of this wedge and, you know, form some type of second bottom here, we'll be forming a double bottom. And then from there, you're looking at the neckline at around 113K. Now, as you guys know, in order for us to head towards all-time highs, in my personal opinion, I think we're going to need to mount or break and retest 115K, and then from there you're heading towards previous highs and possibly even all-time highs. So that's what I'm looking at if we're talking about being bullish on Bitcoin. So definitely look out for this potential move heading into the rest of this week when it comes to Bitcoin. And so that leads me to talk about the VIX. And so in our last video, I let you guys know that VIX is at like triple support, right? And I do expect the VIX to bounce back towards the upside. And I also showed you guys on order flow that there were a lot of VIX calls coming in. Now, the premiums wasn't anything crazy, but they ended up playing out. We saw a lot of 19 strike calls, 20 strike calls, and so far they played out. So those guys made an absolute bag, or those whales made an absolute bag. And so where do we go from here? Well, it's hard to say, because right now the VIX could be forming this reversal pattern here, which could possibly lead to more upside. And so your key level here is 19.2. If the VIX gets above 19.2 and actually hold, then from that point we're heading towards 22, and then from there you're looking at a move towards 23, and then highest I'm looking at is 25.5. So we're not in the clear just yet. Now, what will it take for me to be bullish when it comes to the VIX? And what I mean by that is, we know the market moves inverse of the VIX. So what would it take for me to believe that the VIX is going to continue back towards the downside, and then the market is going to do inverse of that? Well, we would need to break below 17.5. From there, you're looking at a move towards 16. 16.2, 16, whatever. All right. So that's what we're looking at when it comes to the VIX. So I would like to see the VIX really break below this area right here, because there's a lot of support here. If the VIX can pull this off, I mean, you got the 100 MA, you got this trend line right here. So if we zoom out, right, we zoom out on the daily time frame, you know, you got this bounce here, You got a bounce here as well. You got multiple bounces here, and then you did this craziness here. But ultimately, this is a very pivotal trend here, and it seemed to help. It seemed to help the VIX up pretty well. So if we can manage to break through all of this, then I think the market is going to go absolutely ballistic towards the upside. But we'll have to wait and see. So for now, I have to lean to more downside in the near future, right? Maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday, I don't know. But I do expect a little bit more downside, and then we'll have to wait and see what happens from there. So SPY. So I let you guys know that I do believe SPY is going to look to fill this gap at 665 between today and tomorrow, and even form an evening star pattern, right? And so this is a bearish pattern. Now, while this is a bearish pattern, it is important to note, right? When we go to the 4-hour time frame, we are trading outside this falling wedge pattern. Now, believe it or not, the projected measured move for this falling wedge pattern is what, 675. My only issue here is that we're rolling over. When you break out of a pattern, whether it's towards the upside or to the downside, you want it to be clean, absolutely clean. But when stuff like this happens, when you start to roll over, it's not a good sign. All right. Now, I'm not saying be super bearish or anything, or, you know, it's the end of the world, but you want to be careful here, because if we manage to roll back into this pattern, then I believe we are cooked, guys. I believe we're going down. We are going down at that point. Like I've been telling you guys multiple times before, when you roll back into a pattern, there's a high chance you're going to continue in a direction. And I've shown you guys this example plenty of times. So you want to see the SPY really hold here at around 664.1. As you guys can see, we talked about this key level in the last video. I let you guys know that this was a dark pool level. You break below this, you're heading towards 660.1, and then from there you can start heading towards the low 650s, and from there it gets really ugly. So you really want to pay attention to the SPY here. It's very much possible we bounce from here, but from my experience, it's tough. All right, it's very tough. When you roll over, I hate seeing stuff like this, right? If you're trying to be bullish, you hate to see stuff like this. Rolling over is just terrible when it comes to a pattern break, right? Because then it's leading to a false breakout. So me personally, I do believe at minimum we retest 664.1. Maybe it happens after hours, maybe it happens tomorrow, and then from there you really want to see us bounce back towards the upside and start heading towards that 675 target. So there's a glimmer of hope. There is a glimmer of hope for potential upside heading into tomorrow or even Friday, right? There's some hope here, right? You really want to see this gap fill hold. You want to see this level hold. You break below this level, you break within this pattern all over again. It gets really bad, all right? It gets really ugly. So, you know, be careful with this, all right? Pay attention to SPY, pay attention to the VIX, pay attention to Bitcoin. Triple Qs. Pretty much the same thing with triple Qs, right? I do believe that you're going to try to liquidate this area right here, right? You're going to try to take out this wick here. 600 is your key level. That goes without saying. We saw a bounce off that 600 level. If we can get a nice bullish candle from this point on, you're creating a higher low. All right, you are creating a higher low if you manage to get a bullish candle, like a really good bullish candle. But if you continue in this direction, guys, and you see a break and retest here, so you break below the 21 MA at around 599, we'll just say 598 to be safe, it gets bad. All right, it gets really bad. All right, you really want to see, and you want to see, if anything, you want to see bulls really hold here, like right here. There's a lot of bulls here, a lot of bulls here, even a lot of bulls here. So you want to see these guys step in and we rip back towards the upside somehow. All right, so for now, you know, me personally, I will wait 30 minutes until open to see how the market digests things, because Tesla is, I'm assuming Tesla's still tanking after hours. Oh yeah, it's tanking. So far we witnessed TSM tank after its earnings, we witnessed Netflix tank for its earnings, and we witnessed Tesla tank for its earnings. It's not looking good, guys. All right, it's not looking good. So the more big tech keeps tanking for their earnings, the more fear is going to build up in the market. In my personal opinion, I believe you're going to get fearful. The market's going to get fearful, and you're going to see profit taking. So let's talk about IWM. I think IWM is heading to 239. You have this descending triangle right here, right? Descending triangle. You have lower highs, and then you have a flat bottom. So flat bottom, so bounce here, bounce here, bounce here, high, lower high. And so I do believe that IWM is going to try to take out this area down here. If it breaks below this descending triangle, guys, pack your bags. All right, you're heading towards 230s, 227, 230s, basically the 100 MA. All right, so this is something you don't want to see, all right, if you're looking to be bullish. Now, me personally, I love it. I would love a discount in this market for once, okay? So I want everything to drop. I want Amazon to see the abyss. I want Amazon at low 200s, between 200 and 180. I will love these buying opportunities right now. I would love Nvidia at 150. I would even take it at 173. So if we're talking about Nvidia, actually, right, we traded Nvidia today. We jumped into 170 puts, and we ended up taking profit completely at around the 176 level, right? So, I mean, and I even map out what I think is going to happen with these trades, right? Like almost to perfection. So for example, here Nvidia, trimming profit on Nvidia puts here at 4.55. I'm expecting a move to 176 and next 173. Pay yourself regardless of targets. This is Nvidia we're talking about, right? I give damn near perfected targets. So, you know, I mean, you can doubt me all you want, but at the end of the day, you know, it speaks for itself in the Discord. So when it comes to Nvidia, I think we're going to see a little bit more downside. Now, on the bright side here, I think this is the like main glimmer of hope right here when it comes to Nvidia. My issue is that you attempted to break out of this falling wedge and you rolled back in. So I do believe that there's a good chance you're going to hit the bottom of this falling wedge at around 173, and then we'll have to see if there's going to be a bounce from there, right? I'm hoping there's a bounce from there because that will take Nvidia to basically all-time highs if this projected move plays out. But for now, Nvidia is still not looking too strong, in my opinion. It's holding, but it's not looking too great. I would say just be neutral here, if anything, because this is Nvidia we're talking about. It gets news every single day at this point. So for now, I expect Nvidia to head towards 176. It already headed towards 176. If it breaks below 176, then you're looking at a move towards 173. All right, so that's what I'm looking at when it comes to Nvidia. I know I kind of like went all over the place there, but Tesla, I think Tesla is going to head towards 400, especially if Tesla breaks below 414. All right, I think Tesla's heading towards 400. You go to the daily time frame here. I don't know where my levels went, but we're just going to wing it. So 360. All right, 360. We never retested this area. At some point in time, Tesla needs to come back down here, right? I mentioned this multiple times before. When you leave a pivotal level and don't retest it, eventually you're going to come back down to it. It may not happen the next day, it may not happen the next 2 days, the next week, month, but eventually you're going to come back down here when it comes to Tesla at 360. And I think this is a buying opportunity. All right, I think this is a great buying opportunity. I gave you guys Tesla at 220. I told you guys, hey, we're buying this thing at 220 in the Discord. People doubted me. So I'm telling you now, Tesla hits this 360 range, 360, 380 range. You might want to jump in on the boat. All right, that's just me. Do what you want. All right, I'm definitely alerting in the Discord. Hey, we're getting in this. Okay, we're adding more shares. But for now, I genuinely believe that Tesla could see more downside from this point on. And if Tesla sees more downside, I think the market is going to see more downside at this point. Okay, I think the market is just going to keep. More fear is just going to gather in the market because all these big tech earnings are dumping. So that's just my thoughts. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. But that's pretty much all I have. In conclusion, guys, I expect a little bit more downside. There's nothing really coming in on order. Actually, there is something that I want to show you guys on order flow. I am so sorry. So CoreWeave got a lot of calls coming in at the 140 strike for December 19th. Why the expiration is so far out, I don't know. Because I do believe this move can happen way before then. But my guess is that they're expecting more downside when it comes to CoreWeave. And so that's why they have such a further out expiration, right? That's my guess. But you see here, there's a lot of premiums coming in for these 140 calls. I mean, it looks insane. It looks absolutely insane. Would I pay 1,100? I think the contracts are like 1,100. Would I pay 1,100 for a 140 strike move in December for CoreWeave? No. All right. And I actually like trading CoreWeave, but I'm not risking that on this. That's ridiculous. But I wouldn't blame anyone for taking it. And if we look at CoreWeave, right? So just because I don't take it, I just have certain rules. I just have certain things I just won't do when it comes to the stock market. But CoreWeave, 119.3 is your key level. It's at the 100 MA, or it bounced off the 100 MA at around 116 on the daily time frame. The worst case scenario here is that CoreWeave heads towards 110. Lowest you're looking at is 100. but I think it's a buying opportunity between 110 and 100. All right, that's the worst case scenario when it comes to CoreWeave. You look at the weekly time frame, again 100 MA, right? Let's actually go to the 4-hour time frame. You're bouncing off the 100 MA on the 4-hour time frame, so it could be a good play. You may want to set a stop loss if you're interested in the play, right? Not judging you. It's just, again, I just have certain rules. If you're interested in this play, I would set a stop loss at around, if you want a tight stop loss, at around 117. If you want more of a loose stop loss, maybe set one at around 114. That's just me. All right. That's just what I would do if I was wanting to trade CoreWeave. But the best thing you can do is just wait for more confirmation and decide from there. It's important to note that, CoreWeave will need to retest the 21 MA as well at around 130. So if you want to take a shot at that as well, be my guest. But for now, when it comes to the market, you're seeing a lot of signs of potentially more downside, and then you're seeing a few signs of upside, but nothing too convincing just yet. So, wait it out, get an idea on what's going to happen 30 minutes into the market tomorrow, and then, move from there. Discord link will be in the description below. We're currently on a 5-0 win streak for the week. Hopefully we can keep this going heading into tomorrow, and I will see you guys there if you decide to join. If not, I appreciate the support on the YouTube channel regardless, and until the next video, traders, have a good one.